right, so in this first lesson, we're going to talk about the differences between groups and DCAs. And I find that I need to talk about them both in the same video because they can be kind of confusing and almost viewed as the same thing because they can do some similar things. But one of them is a lot more powerful than the other when it comes to what it's capable of. So let's first talk about DCAs. DCA, or digitally controlled attenuator, is actually the digital version of what analog world had, which was the VCA, or voltage controlled attenuator. And basically what they do is they attenuate whatever signals are thrown into them. So think of them like this bucket that can pick up all the signals that you send to it and that you choose to send to it, I should tell you. And then you can choose whether or not you want to dump that bucket out, or you want to keep it full, or you want to put a lid on it, or you want to, put stuff into it and press it down. You can choose how much volume there is in that bucket because you're just simply gathering everything into it, and then you can choose how much goes into that bucket, how little or how much you want in there. So we can use DCAs to be kind of like a single fader that controls multiple things. Some people like to use DCAs as like their main band mix volume control. So they'll have all of the instruments for their band on one DCA. Maybe they'll have their vocals on another DCA, and maybe they'll have their pastor's microphone and all the other handhelds on a third DCA. And then they've got three big faders that they can always have up ready to go to control the volume of them as a whole and even mute them. Now, DCAs are great for just that, in that they really only do volume because they're attenuators. Groups, on the other hand, though, have a lot more processing power available to them. Groups tend to have EQs, a little bit of compression on them. Sometimes they'll even have a graphic EQ on them. And the whole idea about groups is that you're treating everything as a single channel. So groups are great for things like drum buses, or even treating your entire band on a bus and putting a little bit of mixed compression on there. I like to use them for drums, for kind of the band as a whole, and then also for a vocal one. That way I can kind of level those things out together as a whole with three individual faders. So which one's best for you? Well, it depends on the scenario that you need to use it with. Groups are great if you're going to be doing processing on them. So again, using compression on your drums or something as a whole instead of on each individual instrument on that drum kit. Or you want to have the ability to send that whole kit to a reverb or something instead of doing individual ones. Groups are much more flexible in that instance. DCAs, on the other hand, are only designed to really attenuate signals. So DCAs are good if you're only wanting to use it to just control the volume of it. If you need more than that, groups are being your best friend.